This is the ultimate dashboard for project planning and controls. Why? Because it has everything in it that you need to manage your projects, such as a schedule Gantt chart, schedule data, not just for the current period, but even from all the historical submissions, progress photos with captions at that, and browsable per month. And listen to this, a monthly schedule variance analysis using window analysis technique. Imagine that. The dashboard is neatly designed and truly interactive and dynamic, as you'll see later on. There's the SVI, SPI, SV, S curves by labor units and costs, and so much more. And best of all, this dashboard can be easily adapted and customized to work on other projects, and the data can be easily updated with the complementary Primavera P6 report that I have created for it. I will actually demonstrate how the dashboard is updated at the latter part of this video. So stay tuned and watch how it works. What you're looking at right now is the page for high-level details about the project and summary section of the various performance indicators. You're looking at the project details view, the description about the project. I place some random text here for demonstration purposes, but like what I've said earlier, the contents of this dashboard are all customizable. So in this view, you have the project description, project name, the key stakeholders, the all-important dates, and the project value, and so on. And look at this. You also have the map of the location of the project. But of course, this is just a random location, again for demonstration purposes. But wait, this page is not all that it is. Look at this. When I click on this performance button, a new set of graphics emerges. So what do we have here? In this part of the page, you're looking at the planned versus earned values and their variances. Across, we have the percent values as measured against cost and labor. Vertically, you have them measured against the current period or cumulatively up to the current period. You have all these measures available for you, neatly arranged and properly color-coded, so they will easily appeal to you visually. To the right of this page, you have the indicators, the Schedule Performance Index or SPI, the Schedule Variance Index or SVI, and the Schedule Variance or SV. And these indexes are measured using labor units and costs and can be checked against the current period or for the cumulative values up to the current period. Notice the red dashed line on the graph? That is sort of the barometer whether the measure is good above the line or bad when the blue dot is below the line. Say for SPI, we know that values less than 1 is bad. So we have the 0.35 SPI falling below the line. For SVI, below 0 is considered, well, not good. But that's not it. Look at this. What also emerged for this view. A filter to go to a particular data date of the submission. Right now, you're seeing the measures as of the data date November 30, 2014. Like what I've said earlier, this dashboard can maintain information about historical submissions. So I can go back to a particular data date and everything changes with the measures referring to that particular period. And this is September. This is August. This is June. This is April. So how good is that? What else do we have here? Let's check this project completion date button. And this is what we have. We have the information about the forecasted project completion date based on every scheduled submission. So the contract completion date is 30th of March 2017. In January 2014, the forecast date was earlier than that, 82 days to be exact, or by the 24th of December 2016. By the way, the baseline of the schedule was approved about 8 months into the project. That's around August. That's something to bear in mind when we get to the part of the window analysis. So by the June update, the project fell to the negative territory, but it did recover by July. So we have all this information available to you, and we are just still on the first page. We haven't even looked at the other pages. Let's go to the next page. You can navigate to different pages by clicking the available tabs here, sort of designed to look like a folder file. Let's head to Progress. This is where the magic of this dashboard being highly interactive and dynamic can best be noticed. At the top left, you have here a group of buttons for graphic switching, while to the right, you have the buttons for the filters to further slice and dice the data. And we also have here the data date filter available for this graphic. For the S-curve, you can switch to view it either by cost or by labor units. Notice the change in the title of the graph as well when I do this changing of the view. There and there. The blue lines and bars are for the completed period, similar to the default color in Primavera when activities are completed. The green ones are the planned values. You have the legend at the bottom of the graph anyway. To the right, we have the values for the graph, both in numerical and percentage values, displayed like an odometer in a car. I did not put these values on the graph itself as labels because it would just congest the view on the graph and would not look good with them. And again, let's check what happens when the data date is changed. Look at that. We get the values for that particular period. Okay, let's check the filter. I'm gonna filter for the values relating to the scope housing. And we have the graphic switching to only filter for information relating to housing. I can do that as well for infrastructure, and you get similar results. The graphic is also changing with that filter applied. How about milestone? You can do that as well. And milestone 1 and 2. And if you want to filter by CBS for cost relating to water, you can do that as well. How about a combination of housing and milestone 1? You can do that as well. So everything that you need to slice and dice the data is here, and that's the beauty of this dashboard being highly interactive and dynamic. I'm just gonna switch back to the November 30 data date. Let's now head to the SPI and SVI views. Again, you can opt to have them measured against cost, or the labor units and the graph would reflect that change, including the title of the graph itself there. Data date filter is not needed, so that functionality is removed for this view. Let's again test the filter. Let's see how we are performing against milestone 1. And that is available there. How about under the infrastructure scope? We have that available as well there. How about let's look at the scope under sewerage. We have there as well. So everything that you need is actually all in here. So far, what we have seen are all graphical. What I mean, what if you need the exact figures of the measures? Well, we also have that here. Look at this. When I click on the progress table, I can see all the exact values that's in the graphs. I can do that by cost or by labor units. Even the measures or the values are formatted with the red ones being the negative values. So I can go back to cost, labor, and let's check the filter. What's happening in the drainage scope for the labor? And you can see all the information relating to drainage available here. How about drainage for milestone 1? You can do that as well. How about the cost component of it? It's also filtered that way with the view showing the information relating to cost, and this one relating to labor. Let's now check what's in store for us in the tab activities. Well, look at that. We actually have a Gantt chart here. Okay, let's see what we have here. We still have the graphic switch, but this time it's either the view by Gantt chart or by tabulation. We'll have a look at them both later on. For the filter, we have 4 clusters of filters here by scope, activity details, variances, and timeline. There's also a filter for reset filter. We'll cover what these buttons do, of course, in this demo. And there's also our favorite data date filter. The view right now is under Gantt chart. So the schedule activities is grouped by cost breakdown structure. Again, the grouping of the activities is something that can be customized for your project. If I expand the grouping, I can see this. That's under housing. Let's go to demolition. So that's demolition. So the blue ones, similar to the default color in Primavera P6, when the activities are completed, the blue ones are completed, and we don't see any activities here that are in progress as of data date November 30. Two activities are supposed to commence in future, that's why they are colored in red. Let's check the filter. Let's do, say, housing. Okay, we have that housing part for CBS number 5 and number 1, and we can filter by milestone. Okay, milestone 1, all activities relating to milestone 2, and of course by CBS. The Gantt chart itself is already grouped by CBS, so if I filter for, say, housing, that's just gonna isolate the housing activities in the Gantt chart. So this is the housing, see the housing as of data date November 30. If I go back to, say, March, this was the status for the housing at that particular period of time. So like what I've said, this dashboard has all the information that you have from the very beginning of the project. And then that's just one of the clusters of the filters. So if I'm gonna remove the filter here, if I'm gonna go to activity details, I can see also the activities or filter the activities that are completed. Look at that. And the in progress, and I have that. Did you notice something here? When I unfilter this, is it the reset filter here? The fill is white or nothing. When I go for activity status, or sorry, this should be activity type. I will update that in the final version of this dashboard. So if I go, say, in progress, there's the color for the reset filter being red now. Okay, and you can even search for a particular activity here. If I filter for this one, I can get that. That's under the filter activity details. If I go to variances, I can filter for activities that have a negative variance in terms of the progress, and negative variance in terms of the finish date. And I can also get filter for activities that are in a particular variance range. For instance, all those activities which have variances less than 60 days, you can see that. Okay, timeline. What does this timeline do? Okay, I'm gonna scroll a bit down here. So this timeline will work wonder for your look ahead. So you can have any look ahead period. What I mean by that, if I goes for, this is as of November, so if I go for November, this is November, those are the activities happening in November. If I drag it further, you have the 3 months look ahead, you have the 4 months look ahead, and you can go back what were the activities completed in July. You can have that. Okay, and then how about, that's the monthly. I can even go to the weekly look ahead. How amazing is that? Now I can filter for the look ahead, and at the same time under a particular scope, say housing. Look at that. Now we keep on getting this red color reset filter. What does this do? If I click on it, this is basically resetting the filter, so you don't have to find which part of the filter cluster I applied a filter on. You don't have to go back and untick in this part of the filter. Like for instance, I click here and then I'm already here. I know there's a filter, but I don't have to crack which cluster of filter I applied that one, because if I want to reset, because I already have the button to reset that. How about that? Okay, now let's look at what we have in the table view. Okay, this is what we have, the tabulation of the activities. What's added here is that we have the count in the table, the number of activities in the table, depending on whether you have an applied filter or not. So right now we're looking at 2,400, about 2,500 activities. Okay, so in the table you can view the activities by CBS. There's the activity ID and name. There's the activity status, and it's formatted for the completed ones blue, in progress green, not started red. Type of activity you have here, the progress percentage per activity. So the planned percent of that activity, the actual percentage, and of course the discrepancy between the planned and actual. You have the baseline start, finish, original duration, um, forecast actual start. So everything that has to do with the activities that you normally see in Primavera, you have that available here in this dashboard. Now let's check the filter. Let's go to scope. Let's say activities relating to infrastructure. Again, our filter works its magic. So we have right now in the table around 1,400 activities relating to infrastructure. Let me further dissect that to infrastructure for water. We all have 100 activities in the table right now. So let's go randomly check. So this activity, for instance, is not started and should have been completed. And you have a variance of 100%. It's bad. This activity is in progress. You should have done it 100%, but you've only completed about 50%, so you have a negative variance. Anything here ahead? Oh, there. We have a completed activity. You should have, at this point, I mean, as of data date November 30, you should have completed only 66%, but you went ahead, completed it before time, so you have a positive variance. How about the activity details? Uh, let's just filter for the ones that were completed. We can have that. 3 activities are completed as of November 30, 2014 for the activities under the CBS water. In progress, we have 18. Not started, we have 79. Again, completed, count 1, 2, 3, that's 3 there. And we can filter for the activity type. This should be activity type. And if we can even search for a particular activity by name or by activity ID. Let's go to the variances. Here we can see the progress by negative variance. So if I filter for negative variance, all I can see is red here. If I go for the positive variance here, all I can see is blue or black here because they have positive variance progress in terms of the planned percentage and actual percentage complete. Zero variance, just in time, I can see 64 activities. How about in terms of the finish date? I can also filter that by negative. And also everything here is red, meaning they are negative. And if you want to filter by range, you can filter by having variance between -30 and -1. And you can have that between -30 and -1. Timeline, similar to what we had shown earlier. Under the Gantt chart view, you can filter by for activities in a particular period of time, say 2015, January, you can have that. Forecasted or actualized January 2015. March, everything, all the activities with March dates, that's there. Okay, again, we applied a lot of filter here. If you want to reset the view, you don't have to go back, find, untick the filter where you applied that on. You can just simply reset the filter here. And with that, you can start again to slice and dice the data. Okay, let's now check our fourth tab, the photo. What do we have here? This is not just an ordinary photo. This is a carousel of photos. And we have a caption similar to what you do normally in a written progress report. You include the progress photos and the caption to explain what that photo is all about. So we have that also available here. Look at that. Not only that, I can go back to a particular period of time to see what's going on the site, to look at the progress photo in that period. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Again? Okay. Down to our next tab, the resources. Let's see what we have in store for us here. Okay. The arrangement is similar to what we've already covered in the previous tabs. So you should be acquainted by now. So in the graphic switch, you can see the resources by labor or the plant. And here you have two clusters of filters. So I can do by scope or filter by scope for say labor and under housing, and labor for say water, or say the plant for water. You can do that as well there. By the way, the resources here are for the baseline only. So we don't have the actual resources, because that's a different thing. When you provide the actuals information, you need to have a daily site report, something that's really cumbersome to do. And we don't normally provide the actuals in our report to the client. We only provide the plant, the earned value. Actuals is normally within the contractor. So that's why the resources here is just planned, during the time when we set the schedule as a baseline. So again, in the resources tab, you have color-coded resources name. So the colors are aligned with what are in the legend section of the graph. So if I filter for electrician, should be seeing electrician, but it's just not much electrician here. So let's go for Duckman. The graph is filtered for Duckman operator. There, the operator. So it's just the values or the number or the resource units for those particular resources are not much to show in the graph. That's why it didn't pop up the way we are seeing for the other resources. So that's just practically it for this resources step. And now let's head to the variance analysis. Mind you, schedule analysis is not that type of a walk in the park task. It's a painstaking activity, but at MLR, we have an efficient way of doing it, and we have our tools to efficiently analyze the schedule variances per month or per submission, and not just by any method, but by window analysis. So let's try to make sense of what we have here in this table. So like what I mentioned earlier, the baseline was approved sometime around August. That's why our analysis starts with the start of the project, and after the first update, which is September, and after that, by window analysis, you have to analyze the schedule every submission. So that's September versus October versus November. In the last submission, the schedule has a variance of minus 21 days. You go to the overview, that's what's also in there, minus 21. Go back to the variance. So what do we have here in the table? So you have the event number, the analysis window, meaning the period wherein that analysis is covered for. You have the activity ID, activity name, and the impact of those activities to the project completion, the reason for the delay. So you have here a couple of delayed in the start of the activity. There's the completion delayed. There's the removal of the lag. So all the nuances in the physics in terms of the changes are all captured here, as long as those changes impact the project completion date. We have some extra note here. So for instance, this event number 10 is actually a concurrent event caused by the same party. Okay. And the type of delay, whether it's excusable compensable, meaning EOT can be granted with cost. Non-excusable, this is caused by the contractor and should be mitigated. Excusable non-compensable, meaning just time, extension of time without money. Okay, for the out of the 21 days delay, 6 days is by EC, 11 by NE, and 4 by EN. And you have all the other relevant information here in terms of the dates, previous periods, dates, and the current period here, variances between those two updates, successive updates, and the calendar name used for that particular activity. Okay, in here also we have the filter. So like what I've said, you can filter for the delays caused by the client, EC, and we have 6 days there. You can filter for the EN, for instance, the inclement weather, and by the contractor, non-excusable that they have to mitigate. So here we have 10 events. There, count of event there. In EC, we have one event. And you can search by activity ID, the reason of the delay, say completion delayed, you can filter that. And if you want to look at the periodic assessment, say for the January to September window, you can get that information here. See, the delay here is 24, or actually it's not delay, so you're ahead by 24 days. It's also shown here as 24. If I include the October, I'll get the net variance of +9, which is a good one. Look over the overview, I can see the +9 there. So again, window analysis is not an easy thing to do, but in MLR, we have an efficient way of doing that, and we created a tool to do that. And that can be done every submission easily. And now for the $1,000,000 question, how do we update the dashboard? For that, I will head over to Primavera. I'm gonna copy the last update. This is end of November to end of December. Let's open this up. So this project has a forecast completion of 24th of April because it still has the same data date of 30th of November. That's the same as what we have here, the completion to be 24th of April as of end of November. For the sake of this demonstration, now let's apply actuals, meaning the schedule or the activities will progress as planned. So update progress end of December, apply. Okay, so 26th of July, let's refresh. It's still 24th of April as expected, but the data date now moved to end of December. After that, like what I've said, we've created an extractor from P6 to get the P6 data. So in this case, we're going to be using this report. It's modify run report. This is what you get from that report, a CSV file, wherein this CSV file is just going to be basically dumped into our dashboard database. It's going to go into this folder number 3, progress, dump the file there, and rename the file for the month of December 31st. And that's it. You have the data available. All you need to do now is refresh the dashboard. To refresh, hover over this button, click on it, and then it will refresh. Let's check. So let's go over to project completion date, and there we have the December update because we just applied actual, so meaning the progress is the same as the plan. So the variance month to month didn't change, still -21. And then if we go to the progress, we have the curve now for the actuals for the month of December. And here data date, we can also go to the December data date. SPI, there's the December progress, that's the December. Here, if I go to project details performance, December, month to month, the indicators are also updated. So yeah, that's how easy it is to update the contents of this dashboard. Extract the P6 data using the extractor that we created for this dashboard and dump that extracted CSV file into the database folder. There you have it. That's as comprehensive as you can get in a project planning and controls dashboard. Beautifully designed, fully functional, and easy to update or maintain. If you are interested in using this tool for your project, there's a lot of ways to contact MLR, and these contact details are also available in the description of this video. Thank you for watching.